So if you're on the verge of creating a YouTube channel, or you know that you should have started one a long time ago and yet you still haven't started one, or you even have one and you just don't know what to post, we're about to make it super clear. After this video, not only will you know what to post, you'll know how to post, where to start, and more importantly, what is the most important for you. So we're going to the whiteboard today. Hope y'all are ready to get started. Because I am. This is really exciting. And by the way, this new way of me teaching, I want to make sure y'all can see me too a little bit, but not too much. Because this is the more important. Y'all see the board. So the first thing that we want to start with your YouTube channel is you got to remember it starts with you. Okay? So the number one thing you got to remember is this is you. Now, a lot of people, here's what a lot of people do. I just had a conversation with a guy. He's 23 years old, wanted to start a YouTube channel. He wanted to start one on pranks. Okay. Met someone else a while ago. They wanted to start one on travel. Okay. I met someone else a while ago, and they wanted to start one on just, what were they doing? Just everyday life, vlogging. Now, those are great. Nothing's wrong with that, but I want to share with you something that's worked very well for me is understanding that this is what you want to start with now, which means all along your journey, you're gathering people for this, for this, for this. And what can happen is as you change, as you evolve, as you change the things you're talking about, you make your channel Johnny's Pranks. So now you have a Johnny's Prank channel, but now Johnny grows up and he has a family. He doesn't want to do pranks anymore. But now all the attention's coming to that channel because of not only the title, yes, you can change the name still, but because you started about pranks. So now trying to circumnavigate, now you want to start talking about travel, yes, you can still do that roundabout way, okay? I'm going to show you how to kind of avoid that and what I've learned. Now, there's a lot of ways that work. This is just what has worked for me. So if you're feeling stuck on which way to start, and understand a lot of people stay in this area and they don't know which one to start. So because they don't know which video, which way to start, can y'all, making sure y'all can see that, right? Can y'all see that? Maybe I got to zoom myself out of this so y'all can see. But because they don't know where to start with this, what ends up happening is they end up starting nowhere. And they don't have any content out. They have no videos out. And for me, that's not good because I think you have so much to share with the world and so much to give to the world. And until the world knows about you, you have to understand when you're on YouTube, the world gets to know about you without you having to go out there into the world giving all your time. Okay? If I want to reach 7 people, for an hour each, I got to give 7 hours of my day. You know, when I'd rather maybe be doing something else. So a better way for me to do it is to have online content that people can watch 7, 10, 15 hours of me and me giving no time other than the time that it took me to start. So this is one approach to do it. Now, like if you're a teacher or something, I get it. For work, for business, this is just one thing that was very fun for me because you got to think about it. You want to ask yourself, the way you ask your question, the question that you ask yourself determines what you're going to focus on. So if I ask myself, what's the best way to start a YouTube channel? Well, all these are really good ways, decent ways. But if I want to say, what's the best way to start what's the fun way to start a YouTube channel that I can do for the next 10 years? So that, for me, these are great. I mean, I did a travel vlog for probably 6 years on YouTube. So I still like doing that, but that's not the main thing I want to talk about. So this approach is okay, but for me, on my scale, no. Why do I think this is the approach? Because this right here is you. And when you start your brand, your channel based on you, you might like, we'll just put travel. You might like food. You might like talking about money. You might also like talking about tech. So maybe instead of starting maybe all these different channels, all the things you love, you make it about you. So what does that mean when you make it about you? That means that people, so let's say these people, I do this for people because I'm not such a great jar. All these are people. They are finding you maybe because you posted a travel video. Some of you guys are maybe here on my channel because I started making travel videos. So you came because of Poland or Montenegro or Asia or Malta or Canary Islands, anywhere I've ever posted. So you came to my channel for travel. I talk about food sometimes. I've been in really cool places and shared my food. So maybe some of you guys found, maybe Bulgaria, there's a pretty viral, in my world, viral post of making something on food when I went through the market for $5. So we have this, and then we have food. I also have talked about money. How you can travel for $1,200 a month, how much it costs to live in Bali, how you can spend $5 to do whatever it is that you say. So that was on money. But also, I've talked about tech. Maybe you guys have seen the video that I had come out a while ago, and that video was about why I switched from an iPad to paper, why I use a lot more paper now. So what happened is you guys got drawn into me because I talked about this. I understand niching. This is just my way of doing it. That might work for y'all. But they came for this, but they stayed for me. Are y'all following that? People are coming for whatever it is, because I think as you post things, you need to have something that brings people into your YouTube channel. So you need to have those kind of popular videos that I have, but then also they stay for me. And me, I'm constantly changing, constantly evolving. So here's how that works. Let me just break this down for y'all. Okay? Hope y'all took a picture of that. You can go back if you didn't. So why is that so important starting with you? Because you have so many different things that you're talking about, so many things that you want to do. Make sure who's ready to see. Okay. So I want you just to do, if you were just to make a list of 10 things, so here's like a to-do list, okay? 10 things you're interested in. 10 interests, okay? 10 interests. All right, 10 interests. And one of the things, because the common question is like, where to start about me? Well, here's what your very first YouTube video should be. And I've probably made a YouTube video on this, but if I haven't, then just start with this. Why? Your very first YouTube video should be a video of why you're starting. Go back to look, while you're here on this channel, go back to my older videos. You're going to see I have videos of my why. Why did I start? Well, because I was traveling and everyone kept asking me, why are you so happy all the time? What do you do? How are you like this? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to share with you. I'm going to tell you guys how and why I am happy. So your first video should be why. And then your next video, start with what you're noticing in the world. I have a video that came out, I think it was called like your unlimited content strategy or something, where I teach you guys to observe the things you see. What do you think about those things? And how can you relate it to other people? And you can follow that formula to start sharing more videos. But your first video is why are you starting the channel? You know, and your 10 interests that you have, these are the things you start to talk about. Because here's one thing I don't know if I've actually started it yet. If I have, then I probably have it linked below. But I want to have something to help you guys, because right now you're like, Luke, if I do that, that's a mess. It's a mess. Like if I just make videos about this, and then make videos about this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, people aren't gonna know what to find. Yeah, but all those people might like you. You gotta remember, anytime there's like this belief of I'm not sure how it's gonna, there's always like that something you're forgetting. They come for something, but they stay for you. You know? Yes, I've had millions of people, let's just say I've had millions of people consume my content. I've not talked to those people. I've had millions of people come in and watch my videos. And I've had, I don't know about thousands, but maybe thousands of people pay me in some kind of way. Thousands of people pay me in some kind of way. I'm pretty sure it's probably thousands. Definitely hundreds. But I probably have less than 350 people who are really there for me and are actually like really supporting me. And I have less than probably 50 like hardcore people who buy anything that I have and have supported me since day one. But all these people flowed into my channel from different things. Okay, and I tell you that, why do I tell you that? I tell you that because if I would have just stuck with one thing, maybe it would have worked out better. But back to here, I think you need to make a mess when you're starting. I think some of y'all need to hear me say that. You need to make a mess when you're starting, because you don't actually know what you really want. Okay? So you need to make a mess, because I truly believe that somewhere in this mess, you find your message. I think that's how you spell message, right? You'll find your message. Where's the one word? I don't know how to spell it. I'm not a spelling major. You'll find your message, and when you find your message, share that with the people. Because here's the thing, your message over time is going to change. It's going to change because you're changing. You're constantly evolving. And for some of the people that I've worked with who, they're like, I kind of know it all, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you think you know it all? Well, answer this question. Do you know as much as you're going to know 5 years from now? Do you? Because that should eliminate that. You're going to change. You're going to evolve. Which is why if you start out with one simple thing, if I would have made my channel Luke's, or if I said Luke's budget travel, because that's what I was talking about before, you kind of narrow yourself into like this wall. You're working in this world where everyone's working their jobs and all this stuff, and you finally break out that box. And then you spend your time constructing a different box by using this title. Because the hardest shift, which took me over a year to do, believe it or not, was trying to shift from budget travel to lifestyle to just everyday vlogs to sitting in front of the camera to talking in front of the camera. All that changed, okay? Because I made that box. And I don't want you to make that box. Because Luke's budget travel, yeah, I can see how that's a box in your mind. And one thing you got to remember, when there's more people watching, I don't want to mess this quote up. I read it yesterday. Actually, I wrote it down in a notebook. I don't know if I have that notebook. I have a little notebook that I keep all my notes in. This is important though, now I want to get it the right way. I don't want to mess it up. When there's more people, there's more pressure to change when more people are watching. There's more pressure to change when more people are watching. So, as I put myself in this box and people start to like this box, there's more pressure on me. I actually feel like it's reversed. There was more pressure to not change because people were watching me. Because people were coming in to watch my travel content. So when I wanted to break out of this box that I built, that I created, that I filled, it was very hard because I'm like, well, what are all these other people going to think? Which is why I started my channel, Luke Like Charlotte. I started my channel with my name. Because now if I were to post something, it's not so crazy because it all is related to me. If you think about yourself, we're all multifaceted people. Very few of us are like one-dimensional. Like, no one is. Nothing is. And so, the best thing for me is, the thing that I recommend to people is not to put yourself in that box. Because it's one that you created. This is for you. Most people will never start any kind of channel, any kind of content. So why do I say you start with you? And if you're still feeling lost, I want you to give this a go. I want you to think about, what are other people asking you about? What are other people asking you about, okay? What are other people asking you about? Can y'all see that? I want to make sure y'all can see that. I'm going to do something to fix up the board soon so everything looks a lot more clear. Hope y'all can see that. What are people asking you about? Why do I say that? Because what other people asking you about says a lot about you. Like, if someone's always saying, like, well, how do you do your hair? Where do you get your hair done? Why do you always look so fresh? You're always so fly. You're always so fancy. It's because they see you as an expert in that area. Okay? So if you get the same questions all the time, for me, it's always about happy. It's about, like life coaching. They ask me, like, always life advice. What's that? That's the title. I don't want to live in a title world. It's about advice. I get a lot of questions about languages because I speak so many languages. I get a lot of questions about fitness. I'm out of shape right now, but we're working on that. We are a work in progress. We are a work in progress. I'm currently on I'll make a video about it once I test the results, but I'm currently on like a 1 meal a day and watermelon diet. because I wasn't doing 1 meal a day, and then I was thinking between doing the only watermelon, and I was like, you know what? What is a fun way to start getting a little bit more energy? And that's what I came up with. So these are the questions that people ask me about. They ask me so much about travel, of course. That's kind of obvious. A lot of people ask me about budget stuff, like how to budget their money. This is where, now that I'm in the States, and also people ask me about different countries. And I get people who ask me about relationships recently. So the questions that people have asked me, there's a few that have always just been there for me in my life, but as I'm going through life a little bit more, I get different realms of questions. A guy came to me yesterday, he's like, hey, when you were 23, like, what's the youngest girl you would date? Or no, he was 23-year-old asking me as a 38-year-old, like, what's the youngest woman that I would date? And I had to ask him, well, what do you mean, date, marry, or just have, like, a great time with? Very different question, very different answer for that question. But that's something that's been coming up recently. So what I'm going to do is, what you do is when people are asking you these questions, what you want to do is you want to take these questions. So these are the questions that I get, okay? These are mine. These questions they ask you, you're going to do one thing. You're going to turn those questions into content. You're answering the question. So so I want you to fill this out on a piece of paper. What are other people asking you about? What is it about? Now, this is going to be transformed into content. But if you want to take it one step forward, before we go to content, we're actually going to break down and come over here. We're going to take just one of these. We're just going to take happy. And we're going to put, what does that mean? What are the subcategories of that? Okay, so for this one, I want y'all to see this more than me. Okay. Happy. Well, what about happy? Like, how do I stay happy? How do I stay smiling all the time? People ask me. Another thing is, like, how do I stay so positive about things? Another question that people ask me is, why do I have so much energy? So much energy. Another question, what are people asking me all the time? How do I stay so happy on camera? Another person asked me, why do I always make people smile? Make others smile. So this is just a few. I could go on and on about this. So this is what I want you to do with each one of these. I want you to come up with little bullet points. Okay? So you're going to come up with little bullet points for those things. All right? And not only that, but from this sub point, you can make 3 bullet points of smiling. So we can take just smiling. So look at all this content we just created, okay? I'll just spoil the punchline, but it's okay. All the smiling. When times are sad. In the mornings. Like, you could break this down, and then this becomes your content. So you can take the content directly from here, turn it into content, okay? You follow me? Or I would break it down into this. Now, I do this in my mind, but until you get to that level, really, of being comfortable, do it like this. And just do 3 bullet points on smiling that you're going to talk about in the video. 1 minute for each bullet point. You can do that. And if you're really struggling, turn the bullet point into a question and just answer the question. Because people can go 30, 40 minutes talking about a question, answering a question, okay? I love Q&A for that reason alone. So, I hope this helps you with your YouTube channel, where to start. We know your first video. Your first video is why you're starting the channel. Why are you starting? Because this is why. Because it's like when you start the YouTube channel, the hardest thing people have is, now what do I post? What do I share? So I don't want you to get stuck in that part of, like, what do I share? Because your first video is like, why are you starting a channel? Or I don't know why. Well, that's a great reason. That's a great reason. If that's the reason it takes for you to start with that. And then next you're going to just find out what other people ask you about, and you're going to talk about that. All the different things. And all the subcategories of those things that you know that, because sometimes people just don't know the questions to ask. This is one thing I've been learning. Like, we don't know the questions to ask. Like, I remember, like, when I talk to my parents sometimes, I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? Well, like, you never asked. And I was like, well, when I was a kid, I didn't know that was the question that I needed to ask. Okay? So, with all this being said, y'all should be set. Make sure I read the comments real quick. Yeah. And what people keep asking you about, I want you, every time somebody asks you a question, you're going to do something really simple. Write it down. Why do we write it down? Because someone asked me a question. This was all sparked from someone coming over to me yesterday and asking me a question. And we ended up talking for like 20 minutes. No, probably like 15 minutes. Deep, in depth. I was telling him all this stuff. But then I was like, okay, now what's he supposed to do with it? Is he going to even act on it? I don't know. But that was one person. So now what I want to do is, that gave my mind like a thought of like, well, if he's asking me that question, there's probably a bunch of other 23-year-olds out there who are feeling paralyzed to make a decision on how to go about starting their channel because they don't know where to start. So we have it very simple. We start with you. So the same talk that I gave him, now I can give to you. Now what does that mean? That means now that some people are going to find my channel, find my video from this video right now. And they might watch it and go. Some of y'all will watch it. And by the way, if you want, I have in the description, people who stay, you've been staying long enough, you qualify to book a call with me. You can do that in the description below, and I can help you through this to get your message out to the world even more. Because I think the world deserves to hear your message and deserves to hear your story, because we've all been through so much. And we're still going through things. And everyone watching this video, including myself, we all are going through things that we haven't even shared with anybody yet. And what you're able to do with your content is you're able to turn your pain into someone else's like survival guide. And you do that through your content. If there's some videos that I wish I would have saw a long time ago that would have saved me a lot of pain, a lot of money. If someone would have told me that the most important decision you make is the person you marry, that would have saved me a lot of things. A lot. Like if someone would have told me this stuff, but I never found one of these videos. I didn't even know the questions to ask. But maybe if I found someone through a travel thing and I found who they were and they made a video on it, they made a piece of content on it, now that saves me a lot of pain. And listen, people pay for that. People will pay to avoid pain. Like choosing the right person, who you're going to spend your life with, is by far the most important decision that you'll make by far. The average divorce, I think, in the States is $250,000. That's the average divorce, $250,000. You don't really get to see your kids. Now, I haven't researched all this, but I know for a fact with some stories that I've watched is that. Now, I say half because half the time. You get to see your kids half the time if you're lucky. And you lose half of what you have. So if you can help someone avoid this pain, would you not pay, I don't know, $2,500 to save $250,000 and time with your kids? Like, it's not worth a $25 book that can maybe help you out. His needs, her needs, by the way. But all this is content. This is content that can help other people. So not only, if you want the same advice I gave to the 23-year-old yesterday, you would have to be there. And if you came to me today and asked me the same thing, I'd probably sum it up for you in like 2 or 3 minutes talking to you. You wouldn't get this time that we have right now in this video because I'm not doing that. And even if I did, that's only one person. Now I'll get out to more people, which is why we have beauty in content. This is why everyone needs to have it. And here's the crazy thing. You might say, but Luke, no one's watching. Let's have this. Make your first 50 videos and then send me an email and we'll talk. Okay? Maybe I have a video coming out. You've made your first videos, now what? Because you need to get the content out there. Because here's the beautiful thing about this, is you film it one time. You create the content one time, and it's out there forever. So now if that 23-year-old asks me about it again, I'm gonna say, look at this video. Made a video for you. This is it. Right here. That's everything you need. That's everything we talked about, plus a little bit of thoughts that I had on it, and drawn out in a nice diagram that hopefully you can understand. So thank you, Emmanuel, for asking me that question. And this is the breakdown of it. You start with you. You make it about you. And you always, for me at least, you always want to make you want to make everything revolve around you. This is one place where I think you could be a little bit selfish, but you make everything revolve around you. So no matter what, if we do all this stuff, we might do interviews with people. We want it all to revolve around me. I learned the hard way in vlogs because I would try to involve someone else and make them like a main character too. And I was just like, every time I do that, if they're in 3 or 4 episodes, now people are like, where's that person? What's going on? When are they coming back to the show? And I get it, but that's not what this is about. This is about what I'm trying to share with the world. So this is the reason why I always say, make it about you and how you can help other people. Always asking, what do they need that I have? A lot of times what people fail to realize is that the thoughts that you have in your mind, the things that you don't even think about, other people would love to have. There's people out there, like some of you guys, I was telling my friends today, I was like, some people have great skin. Like for me, I think I'm one of those people. I have really great skin. And like, people want to know, what do you do? And I can say, I wash my face probably once every month or something. But what if I actually started to even take better care of my face? And now I can tell people, well, I use this cream, this is what I use. And people would buy that. And if it was true and authentic and it's what I actually did, it would benefit them and they would pay me for it and it would benefit me as well. And I could come up with more things to help them or give them advice on something. Save them a lot of pain. And this is not that that's what all this is about, but at the end of the day, that's a good little add-on to have. So with that being said, I hope this helps you out. You know what your first video is, and you know where to get the content for your next video. And make that mess of yours into your message. Make your mess into your message. And like I say, for you all who have watched it this far, you qualify for a call. I don't say it at the beginning for a reason. You guys qualify for right now, whatever I'm doing next. Whatever you can book. I don't know if I've moved from one-on-one calls to group Q&As already. I'm not sure. But if I do have it, it'll be in the description below. I hope that today's message, that it helped you out, brought you maybe a little bit of clarity. Because I think that it's when we don't have that clarity, it makes things a bit of a challenge. And for me, when I wanted to start my YouTube channel, I let so many things hold me back. Like I didn't know what to name my channel. I didn't know what to post first. I didn't know how to share it or who to share it with, how to make the thumbnails, and all that stuff becomes why that hurts so many people is because all that stuff ends up becoming a friction point for you getting started. Okay, so when it's a friction point for you getting started, it's just like it's not a good thing. You don't want a friction point when you're trying to get started. We're trying to get you started, onboarded as soon, as quick, and as smooth as possible. So the advice I have is to do that. Share your story, your content, and you're going to realize that as you start to evolve, not only will you going to get more questions in real life, but people are going to start asking you questions on your channel. People are going to start leaving comments. People are going to start doing these things, and now that gives you more content. Like, answer people's questions on content. Do you guys understand? I don't think you guys understand that. If you're still watching this, then you're serious. Like, create content off of the questions people ask you. You can literally start an entire channel with one video that people ask you a question on, and all you do is take that comment, you turn it into a piece of content, take other comments, turn it into more piece of content. The questions that that piece of content produced, use those comments to create more content. Very simple and very effective. You can help a lot of people. So with that, I hope you got something from the video. I think that being able to share your message with the world is the one thing that makes you unique. And the thing that I realized, I was thinking about it today, is, yeah, you're like, well, everyone's creating content on that already. That's almost like an objective I hear a lot. People are saying, well, you created that. Like not everyone has the same perspective you do. And that's a big difference. Like not having the same perspective of you is a huge difference. Because they don't have the same perspective of you, when you talk about the same thing someone else does, you talk about it different. Because we all live in the same world, but we all live in a different world. Some people see a camera, I see just a way for me to share the world. Some people see something that they're terrified of. I look into the camera lens and I feel like I have my best friend with me. Other people look into a camera lens and they freeze. Other people look into the lens, we're all different. The world needs your perspective. So with that, I want to wish you guys not only the best, but I want you all to seriously start creating more content. And if you haven't created content, it's not too late. But you have to understand, if you're new to this, it's going to be a challenge at first. You're not going to be able to make 30-minute videos, hour-long videos. Even for me, I struggle to make this video. I don't know how long this is, like maybe 30 minutes right now. We just crossed 31 minutes, I'm guessing. This is a challenge for me. It's a stretch to teach for that long on camera. Now, of course, I could ramble on and on, but I want to keep it very simple. But it'll be a challenge, but I think if you push through that, you'll see that growth is right there. Like, it's supposed to feel that way. It's supposed to. And if it was super easy, then yes, everybody would be doing it. And if everyone was doing it, then I'm rambling too much. You get the point. Start your channel. Set it up. Make it your name. Change the name later. And get it out there to the world. Okay? Love you guys. I want the best for you. You mean the world to me. I truly, truly do that. Do this because I want you all to really just, if the world, I always tell people like, yeah, please share that online. Please share that online because I need some help doing it. I need some help doing it. And the more we get this out to more people, the more perspectives we see, the more your perspective might be the one that is the crack in the rock for someone's like problems that they're having. You can be the reason that they get through. So with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Stay blessed. Stay blessing other people. I'll see y'all.